So today we had Dan at our office. He ran it, like crazy. We did a great workshop, and he delivered the message loud and clear. Grow, grow, grow. So thank you, Dan, for being out here today. We loved your message, and you're welcome anytime in our office. All right, guys. You know what? We didn't have a meeting on the schedule, and we booked Dan. Then we created the content for the meeting. But really, we're in for a treat. I've never heard Dan Kitajima speak before, but his numbers and results speak for themselves. The man, year to date, he's got over 900 personal lines policy that he's written. He's #1 in the state of California. He's averaging over 30 quotes every single day. He's got an awesome operation. He's got, I've been to his Yelp page, and I saw the staff that he's got. He's got great staff. He's got a great atmosphere. They're working the future of farmers. So he's someone that we really want to learn from. We've got a lot of great producer, but he's someone we really want to learn from and emulate and steal some of his ideas and see how we can grow and work our agency. So without further ado, I want you to please welcome Dan Kitajima. I'm going to let him do his introduction and tell you his story. Thank you, Dan.
All right, thank you, Naji.
All right, cool.
All right, thanks guys for having me. First of all, let's give it up for Naji. He actually paid me to be here, so let's give it up for him. So that shows how much he cares about you guys. And he's just an awesome person, and we really want to show a lot of love to him, even though I just met him today.
Thank you.
So, by show of hands, has anybody heard of me before today?
Naji always talks about it.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay. So just to get a little bit of, and he gave me a great introduction, so just so you guys, again, pay attention. Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. Farmer is the agent for 12 years. I have 11 staff members. On my last folio that ended, it ended with 414 policies sold in 1 month. So
414 1 month.
So I just want you guys to pay attention at least. I'm not trying to brag, but just also maybe inspire too, because we have a great opportunity with this great company. I think the mindset is so important, having gratitude, positivity. These are all things that are principles of mine that I've been following for 12 years. So hopefully I can bring you guys some value. So just so I get an idea of the sense of the room here, how many of you guys have been agents for more than 5 years? Everybody's newer than that?
No.
How about 10 years? 20? All right, wow. A lot of respect for her. This is a very long-term game, but okay. How about staff? Does anybody have more than 3 full-time staffs here?
No way.
2? So most everybody is around 1? 1, okay. None? No, I just want to get an idea. Okay. Okay. So we can start off with staff, or we can start off with. That's such a key important part of running a business. I think a big shift has to come from trying to sell insurance to running a business. It's 2 different things. But also we could start off with. How about the PGB? You guys interested in that?
Sure.
Okay. Does everybody qualify for the PGB?
Almost.
Almost, okay. And even if you don't, you want to grow premium anyways, right? That's what we're in the business to do.
Absolutely.
So a couple of things when it comes to growing premium. For me, what's worked, it's a simple formula. It's very simple. The more money I spend, the more money I make. Okay, so just any extra money I have, I'm just going to spend it on marketing and staff. Because really, how else are we going to generate the leads and activity? Okay, to be able to sell a lot of policies, we need leads. As agency owners, your staff needs leads. What are they going to be doing? Okay, so to generate new business, I'm not sure what type of marketing activities you guys have. There's so many different ones. You could buy internet leads. Okay, you could hire a telemarketer, although that's not the hottest thing I don't think anymore. You could, take clients out for lunch. Whatever your activity is, just spend more money on that, and it's going to make a big difference. And when it comes to staff, I'm a little surprised about the number of staff here at this district, but just we gotta get some help, okay? Because to be able to sell a lot of policies, you're gonna just have to do more of everything, more phone calls, more emails, more FFRs, more social media. What else? More text messages now. It's just the more people you have in your office, the more activity you're gonna be able to generate. And obviously, the more activity you have, the more results you're gonna have. All right, and then next thing, when it comes to growing premium is think a little bigger, right? Okay, so whatever your folio is, one thing that's really worked for me is just having bigger goals. Okay, so whatever your folio is, I'm not sure what percentage you have to get to get to 35%. Do you guys know that percentage for your own agencies? Mine's like 17%. Okay, so if my folio grows 17.5%, that's already great news. But then you add another 35% to that, I'm freaking happy. Okay, so you guys really want to get excited and just not think about, okay, how am I going to survive? To be able to do what I do, because there's a lot of sacrifice involved. There's a lot of, you got to spend money in the right ways. So you got to, you got to work hard really too. So to be able to go through what I'm doing, you got to have a bigger goal for yourself. Because if you have a small goal, you're not going to work as big. Okay, so if you have something that you really, really want to get, then you're finally going to put the effort in, you're going to make the sacrifice, you're going to spend the money. So have big goals and get excited. All right, that's what I like to do. I get excited, I go to work, I'm excited, and it's not, I'm doing a lot of difficult things, but it's only worth it because I have something I'm really reaching towards. Okay, so having high goals and, having something to be excited about is something that I really recommend. So think big, guys, okay? Do the math. Maybe because I'm Asian, but I'm always doing the math. 35%, it looks good. It looks good, I'm always thinking about it. So, Sunday morning's a good time. I sit back, look at my numbers, what do I gotta do? How many more people do I have to hire? What marketing campaigns are working? Where do I need to spend money on? A lot of taking some time to looking at your numbers is gonna go a long ways. And then having the right mindset, okay? I know with you guys, because I have empathy, because last year's PGB was so different, right? It was the AGM. And the AGM took me a while to get used to it. It made me work on some weaknesses. I'm not good at everything. Farmers, there's so many things you can offer, right? And that's one thing that I think I'll talk about a little bit too, but now they changed it to all about premium growth. So I can understand, because I was there with you guys. I was a little frustrated. Like, I finally figured it out. I'm getting all this bonus, and now they changed it. But if you think about it, and this is what I do whenever Farmers makes a change. I look at it in a positive way. I mean, as agency owners, every year, you want to make more money than last year anyways, right? And we should be doing that anyways. So basically, they're going to compensate us heavily for just doing what we should be doing, is grow premium. So come from a place of gratitude. Every time Farmers has a situation, I look at it like, hey, this is a great opportunity. I don't sit back and complaining about it, because that doesn't really help out the situation at all. Farmers are going to do their thing. They have to stay profitable, and it's in their best interest for them to stay profitable too. So whatever they have, I'm just going to ride with it. I'm never going to fight it, and I'm just going to go with and make adjustments. And talking about adjustments when it comes to the AGM versus the new structure right now, I think the AGM made us focus a little bit on our weaknesses. Or like, I don't know, I'm not sure, but everybody has like a line of business they're really good at. You guys are comfortable in a certain line of business. I'm not sure if there's an agent that's good at everything, because I'm certainly not. There's certain lines of weaknesses I'm just not good at compared to other lines. But the AGM made you focus on, okay, I got to get the cross-sell, I got to sell these renters policies, I got to, and then there's FFS, and there's pet insurance. There's just so many things that we could offer. It's impossible for me to be good at everything. So now it's all about premium growth. What would you guys want to focus on, you think?
I think staff, for example, how are you staffed up? How's your agency? How many people do service? How many people do sales?
Well, I have 11 staff, yeah,
Okay.
sure. All of them do both, sales and service. All of them are licensed except for 2, and they're about to get licensed. They're taking their tests. And I'd like to get into that, but before I do, when it comes to premium growth, I think, I'm not sure if farmers want to say this, but I think it is good to focus on your strengths. Okay? Whatever you're good at, just go hard on that. It could be, I don't know, anyone, you want to give me an example? Life? Commercial or life, okay, and even specific niches within commercial. Okay, some agents are really killing it with, you know, restaurants, workers' comp, or even more specific than that. You know, if you look at big time agents, they really are good at one particular area. It could be a certain language. Okay, it could be, I don't know, specialty. Like there's a guy in Newport Beach that writes a bunch of boat policies, and he leads with that, and obviously we all try to cross up from there. Or it could be, you know, real estate officers or loan officers in a certain area market. Okay, whatever you're comfortable with, because we all have our strengths and weaknesses. Whatever you're comfortable with, I really want you guys to like really look into that and just focus in on that, because you're gonna have a higher closing ratio. You're gonna feel more comfortable there. And if you have some weaknesses, obviously you want to address that, but not really worry about that too much, because the AGM is no longer there. You really want to go premium this year, and farmers is really saying, hey, write what you want. Okay, write what you feel comfortable in, what you have high closing ratio in, and where you feel comfortable. So if you guys, I think we all should have 1 or 2 really specific niches that you guys are really good at, and really focus in and target that and market that really specifically. All right, and back to your question when it comes to staff. Yeah, when it comes to staff,
I'm sorry, if I could say, how do you find staff? I mean, for a lot of us, everybody tells me, I want more staff, I can't find any. You got 11, so what's the secret sauce there? How do you find it? Where do you advertise for it? I mean, what's the...
Mostly Craigslist and social media, and natural referrals. When it comes to staff, I don't really like try to look for, you know, experience, because that's going to be very hard to find. And that's great if I run into that, but there's this competition, and the economy is good. They're all working somewhere, and they're happy usually. So trying to get lucky with someone who already has a license, that's going to be very difficult. So my approach has been, hey, just whoever's that's hungry. They could just know. Most of my people have no experience in insurance. They never have. I taught them from day one, right? And it's not easy. It's not fun. But, you know, I'm not in my office. I'm in the outside area and have 2 people next to me who are the newest. So I'm literally doing the training all day long. And then the people who have, you know, been with me for 7-5 years, they're the ones that sit way across the other side of the room. They have their own offices. I have my own office, and the only thing I do there is do, you know, hiring and firing and, you know, interviewing and stuff like that. But 99% of the time, I'm out there, you know, telling people what to do. So the training is a lot of hard work, requires a lot of patience. But it's just what we have to do for the future. I think for training, one thing I would say is like I would like to recruit people that I like to work with. It's not necessarily the smartest or who has the most experience. I just like going to work because I've only picked people I like to work with. And you really have to like them because you're really helping them out. You know? You're freaking training them and paying them at the same time. So if it's not a sense of, hey, I really like you, I'm going to help you out, you're really not going to make the effort to really try to help this person. So it's like the opposite of school. Like I pay them and I train them. And then I think one thing that has helped me when it comes to staff is, well, do you guys think I should expect more from them or expect less from them?
More.
Expect more?
Yeah.
I like to expect less. And let me try to explain why. When I expect less, then I'm so much nicer to them. First of all, they're only getting paid $15 to $20 an hour. Okay. Obviously, they're not going to care about your agency as much as you do. It's your freaking name on there. And they don't know anything about insurance half the time. Okay, so when I say, hey, of course she's not going to work as hard as me. Of course she's not going to care about this particular client as much as more than me. And then, you know, of course she wants these days off. the nicer I am, in the long run, it has paid off for me. The nicer I am. When I expect too much and I'm grinding them, hey, come on, let's get this done. And some people could handle that. You know, the high performers, I think they could handle a little bit more pressure. But generally, most people, you know, you guys are insurance agency owners. We're a different breed, okay? We're in this not as a full-time, but all the time profession here. For them, it's, you know, it's just sometimes you want to make them more committed, and that's our job to do that. But, you know, when they're first starting off, you know, hopefully they want to grow with you and everything. But by expecting less, you're going to be a lot nicer than them. And in the long run, hey, this guy has done this for me. He has shown me how to do this. I didn't know anything. Now I'm doing this. Now I'm making extra money now. He got me licensed. You know, all this. After you do that, that's when you get back, finally. You got to get so much back, and then finally you get something back at the end. And at the end, it almost works like they feel almost guilty. I've done so much for them that they want to say, okay, you know what? I want to work hard for this guy. You have a question? Yeah.
How are you keeping 11 people busy? Like, what are you marketing? In depth like that, what are you spending your money on?
Internet leads.
Payroll.
Internet leads. Internet leads.
What kind of internet leads, though? I mean, where are you going to?
All kinds. Yeah.
So Code Wizard,
Code Wizard, yeah, hometown, all web. Hometown leads is a good source. There's different other type of leads too, but they need something to do,
Are you
right?
mainly doing auto and home?
Yes.
How many leads a month are you buying in order to, like, you're buying, you said 400 policies a month? How many leads are you buying?
I'm not sure about the count, but I can give you a dollar amount. It's probably like, you know, anywhere from like 8 to 10,000 a month on leads. It does, you know, it didn't start there.
What did you start off with?
It started off with me doing them. I was doing them. And I had a staff that was just, okay, just doing the CSR work, calling lists and paperwork and all that stuff. And then she was next to me all the time, so she knew what I was saying. So then I got her license, and then she just basically did what I'm, so now we have 2 people doing it, now we have a 3rd person that's CSR.
So you started off by yourself, and then you added another person. How many leads were you buying when it was you and one other person?
You really want to have, and depending on what type of leads there are, but at least 10 leads a day.
10 a day?
Yeah, for one person. If you don't have 10, then it's just too sporadic. You kind of want them to really focus on sales. So getting them really interested, getting them busy. Getting them busy is so important, because if it's not busy, it's just boring.
You have 11 staff, and how do you keep them busy?
His closing ratio is 29%.
Is it? Oh, really? Okay. Really?
Outside.
Oh, wow. I'm surprised. Now I have a book of business, and now I'm getting referrals from there. I'm doing FFRs from there. Okay, so I'm bringing a lot of outside business in. Those are the internet leads. But then once you have a book of business, you don't want to like, you know, not focus on your book of business. Go back in there, get referrals and cross sells. Those are a lot higher closing ratios too. So I think that kind of helps it out. But yeah, 29% is great. But the actual leads is probably like cold leads, not cold leads, but internet leads is probably around 10%. 10% is great, actually. And it's a skill game. You know, you really have to be able to know what you're talking about. And before Farmers Insurance, I was working at a call center selling insurance. So I do have some experience, you know, selling businesses over the phone. So that's just kind of what has worked for me. But I'm not saying that's just the way to do it. Okay, everybody has their specific niches. Okay, you just have to increase the activity of whatever you're good at, and have people helping you do that. Is really what I want to get, because if you guys spend a bunch of money on internet leads, I'm not sure if that's that, because I've done this before where I've tried to help people do that. It works for people, it doesn't work for people, but everybody has a specific niche that they're good at. So yeah.
Thanks for coming out today, by the way.
Oh yeah, no, thank you.
How many of the 11 staff members are actually salespeople? You may have said that, maybe I missed it.
9.
Okay, thank you.
9, but they split time doing customer service and sales.
They do both.
They do both, but most of the people that's been here with me the longest, then they're doing mostly sales. And I do start them off as almost clerical, administrative, okay, because they don't know anything. So they're just getting us coffee, they're just scanning stuff, data entry, and then they get paid that way too. Next step is customer service. Okay, after you've been with me for 3-4 months, You actually heard people talk on the phone. Then they start, getting on the phones, answering phone calls, calling cancellation lists. And when I recruit them, I always want to tell them, hey, your goal is to become an agent one day. Once you get there, that way they have a more patient view. Okay, I'm going to go into this long term. My goal is to get licensed. And they see people getting licensed. And the people who've been with me for a while and have loyal to me, they're making real money now. So they have a goal to get there. So I kind of have like a process where they go through. So that's why.
Talk more about that process in a way.
Yeah. So when it's easier to recruit people if they're just desperate for a job. Hey, right? $15 an hour. It's easier. You get a lot more people interested in that situation. They don't have any experience in anything, or maybe they're coming from retail or restaurant. Okay, they just have good attitude and they have good energy. That's all I'm looking for. Activity and attitude. So hey, this is going to take some time.
Who's speaking, guys?
It's okay. Feel free to ask any questions. Or maybe we'll leave at the end, but have some. So yeah, start from an entry level, very entry level.
So you start off at $15 an hour. 2-3 months, they're fetching coffee, scanning, doing a couple of things. After that, they become CSRs. And then how long do they stay as a CSR?
That depends on the agency's need and that person's performance too. And there's so many different moving factors. The agency's need is, okay, we're getting better deals on leads right now. We got to step it up. Or this year, I really stepped it up. Or someone doesn't work out, someone quits, I fire them. They go on maternity leave. There's so many different situations. But it's like college basketball. Once in a while, they're going to graduate. They're going to leave. So I got to recruit here. Freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. So they go through this progression. So once person doesn't work out, someone is ready to take their spot almost. And hopefully they keep going, they keep going more than 4 years. But yeah, the key is recruiting. But usually it'll take about 6 months to a year. And I tell them during the interview that, hey, around that time is when, depending on performance, we'll talk about getting you licensed.
So I guess Gabriel.
And what's the compensation plan to keep them motivated and retain at the same time?
Oh, great question. That's a key question right there. What the compensation plan is, because I've heard so many different agents do it different ways. First of all, it should be on premium. Okay, it should not be on count. You don't want them just writing renters policies and non-name owner policies and thinking they're superstars. Okay, so base it on premium, and it's heavily based on first year's. In fact, it's all first year's commission. In fact, yeah, I don't mind going into details and being transparent of what I do. I pay them 100% of what I make.
Wow.
Plus hourly rate?
It's actually more than that because I pay 10% off the auto, and it's actually 9 right now.
And you pay for the leads?
I pay for the leads and for the hours.
And you're still making money?
Who could answer that question? How do I make? No, that's a good question. I heard it. How do I make money?
Hold on. Let the man finish.
No. Listen. Can somebody answer this? Can somebody answer this? How do I make money?
Hold on a second, guys. Let them answer that question.
I'm asking a question to you guys.
Oh.
How do I make the money? Yes.
But I have a question. You said your salesperson also do your service, and they don't get any renewal. Do they service for you?
Yeah. That's because I pay them hourly. Okay. And I'm very heavily involved. Okay. That's a good question. You sometimes think, hey, they get paid more off sales. What's in it for them to service?
Yeah.
That's where the team culture comes into play. I'm always there. I'm showing them motivational videos. I'm saying, hey, we got to train this person, so it's going to be good for us in the future. They're very involved with the team, and that's something that I have to do. That's one of my main jobs, is to say, hey, we're all on the same team here. We've got to grow this thing together. The better our services, the bigger our book of business, the more leads I can get you. Okay, so it's all a team, right? And that's really something that's a good question, because that's one of the fears I had too. And I still battle it sometimes right now, because I have some salespeople that really just want to sell. But hey, no, we've got to service these people, right? That's what we promise, great customer service. And but by again, by just taking care of them really well, by caring about them, they care about the agency, And for the most part, our customer service, I would say, for everybody is good.
What is the biggest size, what is the size of your biggest agent? What is the size of the book of business that you're?
There's no single book, right?
Just 1 year, the first year.
No, like you said 9 people are selling, right?
Uh-huh.
And each of them sells and they service their own policy.
No, we all service each other. Yeah, I don't even split it into agency. When they sell it, it's all in my code. I don't even split it up like that.
How do you give the commissions then if it's all under your code?
On the business.
Just Excel spreadsheet. That takes me about 4 hours every month. But I go through them. It's not the funnest work, but no one else could do that. I'm not gonna say, hey, calculate your own commissions.
Yeah.
So I calculate them. But what was your question? But everybody services each other's policies, so there's no you can only talk to this person because she sold it.
But then I got a question. So what's the, and again, you don't have to be too specific, what's the average pay for a person in your operation? So they're making $15 an hour, $600 a week, or whatever. And so what are they averaging if they're getting 10% of the new business commission? That's on auto and home, right? Okay, so what are they averaging?
Well, I think if you have a licensed staff that's good at sales and customer service, I think they should at least make $50,000 a year. Okay. I think that's, that's like average. And some make double that, okay, and some are low performing and they don't make that much. So, that's like a range. I'm always thinking like, hey, I gotta be able to help them take care of their family at least in Southern California. So unless they're not there in 5 years, then I'm not doing my job or they're not doing their job.
Rita.
Who decides who to service the phone call, unless if you have one person that directs the phone calls?
Everybody
You have
picks up.
9 people, the phone rings,
Everybody picks it up.
who picks it up?
We have a little bit of order. The salespeople don't. Okay, the CSRs do. If it's a lead, we transfer it over. We have like a priority list. So a lot of times the newer people are the ones picking up the calls. But I compensate them in a way where they get points for taking payments and stuff like that. So the phone rings in my office, it gets picked up right away. And mostly it's the newer people. It rings 3-4 times, and then some of the experienced agents will have to pick it up, do some customer service. But again,
So you have specific people that are responsible to pick up the phone and then redirect the phone call?
Yeah, and that's mostly the newer people. Not the newest, but the CSRs that are picking up the calls.
So when you get a call from a lead company, do you have a separate number that, okay, we know this is a new lead, and a separate number for customer service or another?
Well, most of the time when it comes to leads, we're the ones making the calls.
That's true. That's true.
But we didn't hear that, was that?
Oh, most of the time when I buy leads, okay, we're the ones have to call them. Okay, but sometimes we'll get a call back. Okay, and then the CSR will pick it up, and then that will go to the top agents first because they've proven that they can sell it. So I'm not going to have someone brand new who just got their license get an opportunity to lead because that costs me money. So I do have a system where a certain number of agents will get more leads because they've proven they can sell them.
Did you say you had 9 total?
9 licensed staff.
And 2 that are working on it?
Yeah.
Sam, what's your question?
Are those 9 are your producers?
They have license. They have a license, but some of them just got their license. So even because they got the license doesn't mean they're just selling all the time.
Right.
They're trying to cross sell. They're doing they're doing FFRs, and they're trying to ask for referrals. So I would say even though out of 9, 3 of them are like just only doing sales most of the time, 90% of the time.
Are these people doing like 60, 70 sales a month? Or you did 400 on the folder, right?
Yeah.
So they're doing 50, 60 sales every single month.
So how much is
Janelle?
2 questions, please. So initially you said that when you hire these people, they have no experience, so you obviously help them get licensed, the ones that stayed, correct? Number 2, do you have like a probationary period when you hire them? Is there like a timeline when you know like, okay, this person's gonna cut it? I mean, obviously if you like them and you see that they're working, but is there like a probationary period that you recommend that, hey, this is the time, and if they're not cutting it, then they need to go?
Oh yeah, good question. So when I hire them, I already have in their mind that, hey, in 60 days from now, we're gonna have a review. Okay, and that's when because sometimes, I like to be nice, like I said, and it's hard for me to just like say things that are like, so that gives me a time to be very honest with them during the 60 days. And sometimes they go really well, and sometimes, I have to say stuff that may be uncomfortable, or sometimes that's the time I say it didn't work out. And then after that, we do it every quarter.
But is there like a goal that they need to attain? So when you sit there and you
No.
interview them, it's just, do you have any expectations of them? Or like, do you tell them, hey, by our 60-day mark, we have to have maybe a dollar amount or this many policies?
No. Because in the first 60 days, no one's selling. No one's selling in the first 60 days. So the first 60 days is just attitude and activity. Hey, you worked hard, you had a great attitude the whole time, you got along with everybody. Those are the things I'm looking for, because long term, that's what's gonna...
Because you can maybe help build them later, right?
Exactly.
So,
And it kind of depends on what the agency situation was. Maybe I had enough staff, so the first 60 days, she didn't have an opportunity to call people, or her responsibility wasn't that great.
right.
Okay, so it's not on me to say, hey, you didn't do a good job, because, well, she was like, well, you just wanted me to do this.
Right.
So as long as they're doing their job with great attitude and activity, that's really all I'm expecting for in the beginning.
So do you feel that, sorry, questions. Do you feel like it's a necessity to have all 11 staff members in your agency? Like, can you just do 5, or do you need all 11?
He wants to grow.
Yeah, if I want to grow, I want to grow. Okay, back to the big goals. Right now, my PGB, I'm getting like 22% now. Pretty happy with that, but hey, there's 35% right there. I'm trying to get to 35%. So to be able to grow, we need to spend and have more people.
Are you working on grooming somebody that's going to be like your manager so that you can kind of
Not really.
oversee?
Not right now.
Still planning
I'm very involved.
Yeah.
I'm there early. I'm the last one to leave.
I was going to say,
So
you can take time off, but
I just like working, okay? And that's the great thing about farmers. We all have the freedom to pick our hours, and sometimes that freedom is a little bit abused.
what's your tenure on those staffings? What's the longest employee you have?
7 years. This will be 8 years. But back to that, okay? So I'm not saying I'm doing it the right way, because everybody has a choice, right? If you want to take Wednesdays off, or you don't want to work this hard, that's okay, right? But if you guys want to work hard, then there's definitely a lot of things we could do. So if I was in the future wanting to go, my kids are young right now, so I'm not really, but once they start baseball or basketball and stuff like that, I want to be there, then maybe I'll start grooming a office manager. But I'm definitely the office manager right now.
Do you have any requirements for the salespeople?
No, I don't. And that's because, again, I expect less. Because the salespeople, it depends on what I'm bringing them. I can't expect them to sell this many when the lead volume was bad, or the leads were a bad deal this month. So it's kind of like my responsibility to see how well they do. So if they're not doing well, it's my fault. That's how I look at it. I didn't train you well enough. I didn't get you enough leads. What can I do to help you? So I definitely don't have like a negative reinforcement view. I just have like, hey, how can I help you? And let's do it together type of outlook. So I don't have any like quotas or like minimum standards or anything like that, because it really depends on what I'm providing them.
And may we know the size of your agency? Like how
As far as,
big
PIF?
the books are?
PIF is 8,000. 8,000, so.
And growing 22%. Really?
I want to know what your typical day is like. So what's your role in the agency?
What my role? A good question.
Your typical day.
So get there at 9, okay. Distribute the leads, okay. See how everyone's doing. That's a big part of my day. Engaging with their, with their work, and just caring about what they're up to and see what's going on. And I do, do some sales myself. The top clients, the top commercial clients, and not that I have a lot of top, but my most important clients, or the ones that have been with me for a long time, that expect my service. So I'm doing customer service and sales all day long too. Okay. Then we'll do maybe a book review as a team. We'll read like an inspirational book that we like reading, or watch a YouTube video. So I try to have some, meetings at least like 2 or 3 times a week, just to make sure we're on the same page. I'm thinking about marketing campaigns. There's a lot of training, I think a lot of my day is training, okay? Just even the simplest stuff, like how do you add a car on Farmers? That's what I'm doing, is showing somebody how to do that, because that's a good point. Maybe I should have somebody doing that eventually, but right now, my tenured agents, they're sales focused, they want to make commissions, so that's not their job. So my job is to help them, and I'm helping about the two people that aren't licensed. I'm helping them, hopefully they'll get licensed, and then motivating, I think that's a big part of my job, is to help them motivate, keep motivated, stay hungry. We got to work hard for our family's future. That's like our motto.
Yeah. So I'm kind of like a personal agent, just like you. And Naji has been trying to,
To be actually like him.
Yeah, and also go to commercial line or live. But it's kind of difficult. Have you ever thought, in the past 12 years, to grow, build a commercial department, for example, or live department, since personalized is strong enough as our bread and butter to grow up? Have you thought of that actually? Or have you tried?
Oh, yeah. Well, Farmers tells me that all the time too. So you're not the only one. I like personal lines. I don't know why. And I've tried, and because the AGM really helped me at least do a little bit, so at least I get the bonus. So that really helped me out. And I'm trying to cross-sell, life more. But sometimes those numbers are honestly embarrassing. But I just specialize and have a niche of auto home renters, of everyday clients, and that's just what works for me. Okay, I know a lot of agents, and they're the ones that get the praise from Farmers that are good with everything. Okay, and I respect them a lot, because I don't know why, I just get so zoned in on what's working and just replicate everything and following the system. That has worked well for me. So for you, this is a real personal question. Some of you guys are going to be good at 2-3 lines, or be very solid in 5 lines. Okay, but it's just self-awareness. I can't say you should do this, you should do that, because I don't know how, and also depends on, there's so many different variables that you want to know yourself and be like, okay, I like doing this, I want to be good at this, I want to try, and I think it's a great idea to at least try. So I've tried. I tried, focusing on apartment building owners and this and that. Just didn't get me busy enough where I was excited about it. But I still sold from that. Okay. So finding a niche that you like, and being self-aware of what you're good at and what you like to do, I think is an important one.
When you distribute in the morning, you distribute all the leads to the staff or to the producers. Your producers are marketers as well, that they call and call and call and call until they get somebody on the phone? Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Everybody's calling until they get somebody on the phone, hey, I want to push your off, right?
Yeah, but there's a fine line there. Okay, I think calling people gets annoying sometimes to them. So our strategy is more emails. More emails.
So you'll quote it more what?
Emails. Email marketing, rather than calling, because for personal lines, they fill out a form, they get a call like, oh, this guy's calling me 10 times today. It's annoying, So more of an email. We've been testing out text a little bit more. It seems like text is not too bad anymore. People aren't too offended with getting text messages. Obviously, you got to follow the guidelines. If you want to stop receiving these, follow those guidelines. And we have a system for that. Software company that follows the guidelines. But a lot of written follow-up, emails and texts, more emails, mostly emails, seem to work better for us.
You'll quote it, and you'll send them a Farmers VIP quote for the auto and home on it?
No.
Okay. And so you have your own personal quote that, hey, here are my limits, and here's what we're sending you. Now, when you're sending that quote, you're basing it on no tickets, no accidents on it, correct? Are you including all the discounts here if they have an auto home discount or anything like that, or no?
No.
Are you... so when you...
It's really hard because the form doesn't have enough information.
Right, right.
So it's really just like, hey, I want to, and the email is very specific to, hey, I want to talk to you about your coverage and discounts.
Okay.
I want to talk to you about your coverage and discounts. Let's get an accurate quote. So there's a lot of wordage there that says, hey, this is not accurate. This is just a quote based on the information you provided me, but so many coverage and discount options you have that we should really talk about this.
Are you quoting more Farmers or Bristol West or both?
More Farmers.
More Farmers.
Yeah.
So you send an email, you're waiting for clients to call in.
That's the best case scenario.
But if they don't call in, how long that leads go to like a dead file?
Well, that's the individual agency producer's kind of choice. They'll work on it. So if it's a lead with like 5 cars, they should be calling them more often than a lead with like an old car with live video only. So I let them decide. And then every once in a while, we'll revisit them. And then some of the newer agents that are just getting started, they may work a little bit on the old leads, call them. So yeah.
Are you working from ECMS or from SIMS? Because you're managing 800 to 1,000 leads a month.
Probably like 800.
So from SIMS or from ECMS or from something else? Because that's...
Neither.
Neither, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've actually never opened SIMS. But
so you're typing it in Excel?
Google Docs, Google Sheets. It's pretty old school, I know, but it's at least shareable. I can see their activity, so I've seen what they're doing. But I leave it up to the producer to really, that's their lead. They should do what they think is necessary the best. So
you're relying more on that particularly. You don't necessarily go back 6 months or a year later to try to recontact.
I do a little bit of very passive emails, but not calls.
So strictly new business, huh?
Yeah. Oh.
Victor.
Sure.
I'm sorry, somebody already asked this, but the staffing, sorry, going back, are they all full-time or do you have a split?
All full-time. All full-time. When I hire them, I only look for full-time because really it takes that type, at least 40 hours an hour commitment for them to at least commit to their career. So I don't like the part-time idea. I don't even like it when they're going to school because that means like they're going to like try to become, they're trying to, this is just a job until I become a nurse. Like,
are you selling yourself or just your staff?
Yeah, I do sell myself.
About how many policies a month do you sell?
Probably like 30, 40. And I like to make those sales. I'm in the Japanese market, so I talk to a lot of Japanese, business owners. So that's what I like to, spend my time on when it comes to selling and servicing. But I enjoy that part too, and I feel like it's important for me to not be totally disconnected. There's a lot of like, other people that say I don't sell anything, and they're like all proud of that. But I definitely like to sell because it's still fun for me.
Thank you for coming. My name's Jared.
Yeah.
So how do you coach your staff to overcome obstacles when rate increases come up for all these online companies? Because I've lost accounts because of the lower rate.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm curious, how do you coach them, or do you kind of, what do you share with them, or what knowledge do you have for them to really overcome those obstacles?
Great question. I think I try to just, through osmosis, try to make them as positive and optimistic as I am.
But an agency that writes 400 policies a month, they're going to lose what they're going to lose. I mean, let's face it. Are we chasing every single lead out there? For writing that much, it's okay if you're not going to get them.
We try to move on as soon as possible. We try to learn something from every single situation. We're very thankful for them. Hey, thank you so much for being with us for the last 3 years. Very grateful that you're with us for that many long. It's just all about gratitude, just showing them gratitude, and then we just move on as fast as possible. And the next person, we try not to, just not let it affect us. But positivity and gratitude is going to go a long ways in the long term. So I think it's very important the agency owner is that way because, again, you can't expect your staff to pump you up. You can't expect your staff to keep you positive. I try to make sure I have the right mindset so it trickles down to them. Yeah.
Are there certain limits that you like to quote, or the staff decides on limits? Right now?
Again, I give the staff control of that, but a lot of times you could tell off the lead, okay, where they live, what type of cars they have, okay, or how old they are. So certain situations, okay, we'll quote higher because we're pretty sure that's what they have, okay. Some lead forms have that filled out, but it's not as accurate. But if they're putting like they want a 250, 500, they only have a car that's older than me, then we'll quote the minimum limits. So we'll kind of there's a little bit of guesswork there. Yeah, sure.
One more question. Just the workflow in general. So a sales agent sold a policy, collect all the documents, sign everything, submit to your center. and then follow up, or you have a different person who does the, you know, like the El Paso way, one person sells and everything, so they send it to the
Staff.
executive. How is your agency?
I like to get the producer involved in getting the paperwork back.
From the beginning to the end?
Yeah. And it's not that hard, just get a signature, you know? So it's like, it's in their best interest too, because if they don't get it back, then they're getting charged back, they're not even getting paid on it. So who else is gonna care more? The agent should. Now, we do have a backup person that calls, you know, people too. Okay, if it gets very dangerous, so we have 2 people calling them when it's missing documents. But in general, the producers are the ones when it comes to that. Or if it's, you know, a bad house, then they're the ones, you know, working on their clients. So most of the time, you know, the producers should be, you know, taking care of.
What about the renewal?
The renewal, we have certain duties, so we have someone calling them. Okay, this list, someone calling this list. So all these lists are like divided into duties. So that's why when I say, hey, I have 9 staff, they're not all doing sales because certain people will have, okay, this person has the Bristol West list for pending cancel, Bristol West renewal, farmers renewals, you know, commercial renewals, commercial pending cancel. So all of these lists, they have defined duties.
One.
Are you doing telemarketing or is it pretty much off internet?
Internet leads is kind of like telemarketing almost, but I don't do any cold telemarketing. That's just me. I think that probably works for only businesses, not for personal lines. Well, I'm pretty sure it works for businesses, but same thing, you know, you got to have people to do that. So whatever I don't do doesn't mean it doesn't work. I think it works. There's a huge opportunity there, but me personally, no. Yeah.
Rebecca, you had a question?
Wow, thanks for all the questions.
I was going to ask if you had a preferred home product that you start out with, or is it at the discretion of the producer, whether it's function or smart
Good.
home?
Again, yeah, the producers.
And then how do you ensure the whole UQI thing, you know, the product, is that something you're involved in?
Yeah.
With
Yeah. Well, first of all, I say you can't write anything below 11,000. Let's keep it simple there. Okay, you can't quote anything below 11,000. Like you can't. Okay, so you can't sell any policies unless it's a special occasion you get my approval. Okay, all homes I take a look at myself. Okay, online. So they can't. You know, so yeah, that's a very good question. Okay, we could be growing premium, but once I get below, you know, the UQI 3, then it's going to be a bad day for my agency. So I'm very involved with that, and I have some, you know, I'm very engaged in making sure UQI numbers are good.
I got a question for you.
Yeah, sure.
So look, so we're paying 15%, we're paying 10%, we're paying for the lead, we're running negative.
Yeah.
How do we survive that? And when do we break a profit? Is that 18 months? Is it 2 years? When does the revenue start to come in? And now, okay, so I lost money for a year, or what's the period?
That's a good question. And just so you guys know, I'm not the only one doing it this way. Like Geico and the Progressives, they are spending money to get the first year. They spend more money on advertising, and they make nothing off the first year. They're also like, it's almost like buying a book of business. You're spending money, you're gonna make money on the long run. So I'm okay losing money in the first year. Now, when I make it back, even though, you know, I said I was a numbers guy, I am not that confident in getting a real good ROI because there's so many intangibles. You know, that person might get a home now, that person might get a referral now. But I've kind of just blindly just spent money in the beginning. And really, this is going to take a huge gamble on your guys' part to know that what you spend is for the future, not for your next folio. When you hire somebody, they're not going to help your next folio. Okay, it's going to hire your folio maybe 2 years from now. So it is a kind of a gamble. But the more I've done it, the more I believe in it. And now it's like I just know, like, hey, if I need to spend money, I mean, if I need to want to make more money, then I got to spend more money now. And I think it's a great investment. I think it's better than, I mean, stocks, real estate. I mean, you could give me any investment, but it's a great place to throw your money at. It's fun. You have more control over it, but definitely takes a long-term approach. Very patient approach, but you know, that's a personal choice. If you really want a big agency, I feel like the more you gotta sacrifice. So the more you sacrifice now, the better for the future. the less you want to sacrifice, that's a personal choice. You guys may be at a situation right now. It's like, oh, I'm pretty happy with things are right now. I'm pretty happy with my lifestyle right now. Then there's no need to, risk going broke to become rich. So, it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's Asian in me. I'm just like to gamble.
Do you pay the cross sale, the whole commission as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great business. Retention increases. Uh-huh. Yeah, no, thank you. This is making it easy for
Do
me.
you slowly increase the commissions, or just from day one, 100% salary and 100% commission from day one?
I can't increase the commission, but I may increase the base. So the base will be increased if they're a little bit more doing customer service. So they've been, someone's been there for 7 years. She has her own clients. She's taking care of them. She has trained a few people on her own. So the base may increase, but not the commission.
Because you already paid out like the max, right?
Exactly. Yeah, sure.
When you hire new staff members, how long? You said most of them are not licensed at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
What's the timeline that you give them to get licensed, and are you paying for the licensing fees and stuff?
Mm-hmm. I pay for the licensing. I pay for renewals, and that is just based on the agency's need. That depends on that person's performance. So if someone's going on maternity leave, then I'm like, okay, I got to get somebody licensed to take her spot. Okay, or this person's just, you can just tell sometimes, and they're really hungry and they're really good over the phone. They're smarter than others. Honestly, that would happen. So sometimes, but it's about 6 months to a year
to get licensed.
To get licensed, and I like to recruit where they're like really looking forward to that. Like, I wonder when I get licensed. I wonder where Dan's gonna say, okay, I'm gonna get licensed. So that's really kind of like everybody's short-term goal when I hire them. But depends on the agency's need and the person's performance.
Majority of the sales over the phone.
Yes.
Majority.
Yes.
Sarah.
Dan, I have a question.
Sure.
Do you have a referral program, and do you do networking?
I am. This is the first time I've been out of the office for a long time, actually. I don't even take lunches, really. But I'm always in the office, just, with the agents, helping them out. And this is just, again, just what I do, okay? It's just, if you guys are going out there, meeting people, keep doing that. Actually spend more money doing that if that's working. Okay, so I don't want to influence you guys saying that, hey, this is the way to do it, because if you guys have good connections and you guys want to take care of them and meet more people and you're better at face-to-face, then that's what you should be doing. But me personally, I just came from a call center background, so that's kind of where I am right now. But a lot of times, and I'm not sure farmers would like me to say this, but people like speed, people like convenience, okay? I don't know if people want to drive to your office these days.
Question, do you pay your staff 100% commission for life policies?
Yes. No, we do. Yeah. I have. We do more than we had before. But yeah, 100%. Okay? And then my philosophy on that is like, hey, if I make bonus, great. I mean, sometimes I do. I just make money off that, and they get motivated. And if you're not paying them enough, they're not going to get excited enough to sell, because life insurance, even for me, I mean, it's not easy to sell. Okay, so if you're expecting your producer to sell, there better be something in it for them. Yeah, but if I was a life insurance heavy agent, I would just do 100% and then see if I could get enough people and make the bonus. That would be my way. But life insurance is a little bit tricky in this system because there's no renewal, so it's a little harder for us to do my way for life insurance. I would, unless you had a lot of agents.
Dan, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Is there any learning programs or coaching that you've ever done?
Oh, great question. Thank you. Yes, I do. I do consulting work. Yeah, if you guys want to ask me, find me on Facebook or Instagram. Feel free to message me. I wouldn't want, honestly, it's not going to be cheap because it's my time. But I do like helping out a few agents, and just basically do what I do if my way sounds like it could work for your niche. Yeah.
More questions? Well,
Thanks for letting me bring that up out of the way.
Leslie, one last question. Leslie,
Earlier you said like 2 or 3 times a week you show them a motivation video. Where do you get those videos, or can you send us like one of the samples?
Yeah, I go to this website. It's www.youtu. I'm sorry. I just like I typed in motivational videos. In a conference room, we have a TV. You guys wrote that down? And yeah, it's just but I feel, you know, I like to spend my time on the downtimes looking for videos like that. Hey, this will really like help us out. Or read books. There's so many content out there, guys, that are really positive and optimistic. We really have to be careful of what we're bringing into our heads. Okay, and as long as you're bringing in really motivational and you are fired up, it's gonna, again, it starts with us. Then it's gonna go to our staff. So make sure you're feeding your minds with good stuff.
Lita, you have a last question.
Yes, you mentioned that your staff do auto and home. They all do the same thing, and you do the commercial, right? And in the future, would you think it's a good idea to have a separate, would the same staff do commercial also, or you would have different people doing it?
Yeah, again, it's the progression. You can't expect someone brand new to be able to sell a commercial policy. You know, it's just too advanced. So the agent actually that's been with me for 7 years, that's making the big bucks, she actually mostly does commercial.
So would you mix it again? Like they can do everything, or you would keep it separate?
She does personal lines too, but they work their way up there.
I see. Got it.
Okay, so the commercial leads, again, I'm not going to give to somebody brand new because they just don't know what to do with it. But she's been in the business for 7 years. You know, she's a closer, so okay, let me try buying you a few commercial leads. So it will take a little bit of, but yeah, that's how I also inspire new people. Like, look at her, now she's selling commercial in life. You want to maybe get there too. So it's the more advanced stuff, more the advanced stuff, then you really want to give your most tenured, most loyal, most proven employees that, so they could get more excited again, because I want them to make more money, and I never want them or our agency to be in a situation where we're just doing the same thing over and over again and not improving, because you know, we're either going up or we're going down.
Anything you want to close with? Anything you want to add?
This is a great opportunity, guys. I love farmers. I didn't say some of the stuff that I wanted to, but the Q&A made it a lot faster, so thank you guys. But yeah, positivity, optimistic, and you know, just love your clients, love your staff, and great things will happen in the long term.
Cool.
Thank you.
I'm going to dump money into this, but eventually I'm going to get the stuff back. Okay? So that's what I invite you to do right now. Start thinking about this and say, okay, how much money am I willing to spend blithely to do this? And you know what? He's not everything to everybody. He comes from a call center attitude. Okay? I'm going to sell a lot of auto and home insurance over the phone. He took it and ran deep with it. Different people do different things. And now that the AGM has been removed, we're focusing on growth. Let that growth be any line of business that you want to be. He chose it to be auto and home. It's probably mainly auto and a little bit of home, but let's be auto and home, and he's running with it and spend life. But what I tell you is this. Where he's spending the money is the easiest way. Because you could go after commercial, you could go after life, you could go after any line of business. But there's a group of consumers out there that is raising their hand online and saying, you know what, quote me, I'm in the market to change. And for $10, $20, $30, he's getting those leads. He's not bugging them. He just sends them an email. And then do the soft follow-up, and that's how he's scoring 10%. So that's really what it is. So what I invite you to do is really go home and think about this and decide what you're going to do.
Hey, thank you so much, Naji. It was such a pleasure being here. You got amazing, motivated agents that are very, you know, I could tell they're hungry. So it made it a lot of fun for me, and hopefully, yeah, positivity, optimism, hard work, and long term, you guys have a great future here at this district.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Peace.
Hey, this is so much fun. Hey, thank you so much for watching my videos. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to subscribe. And then stay tuned for more future videos to help you grow your insurance agency. And also, comment below and let me know what you think. Until next time, thank you.